Hello, my friends. Welcome to my living room. A little truck and some toys back there. Anyways, if you're into journaling, good news today is our March journal cover page. It's a really simple and yet beautiful blue and white. I love a good blue and white anything. What is she saying? Today we're gonna hang out here at my table and create a whimsical, beautiful, but very simple March cover page. All about that pattern. I think you're gonna love it. I'm getting lost again. Let's just start. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and around here we make art and it's fun, not scary. And today we're just gonna hang out at my dining room table and make our March cover page. So if you're into bullet journaling, this is a cover page for like your month of March setup. Bullet journaling is all about planning for the future. It's kind of like part diary, part planner. It's whatever you want it to be. That's what I really love about bullet journaling. And my journal is always like a little bit of an art journal. Like I love to doodle in there as a way of relaxing and also kind of keeping me organized. And I find that the organization of a journal really keeps me inspired to like stay organized and stay on top of my tasks, because I am definitely a procrastinator. Who isn't? I mean, if you're not a procrastinator, do I want to know you? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I just haven't met anyone that's not a procrastinator in my life. That's all. Okay, so my theme for my journal this year is pattern play. Patterns are a great way to kind of just doodle maybe some flowers and leaves and turn them into something really pretty. But you can also kind of lose yourself in the creation of a pattern. It's just very fun and playful, and you take something simple and you make it into something larger. For February, we just did a lot of red and pink, and it worked. And for March, we're gonna do one of my favorite color combos, and that is a classic blue and white. And I know you guys really love when I create blue and white art. I think it just is very reminiscent of like transferware and Delft plates and cups, and it's very fun and easy to create, and I think it's hard to screw up. So that's partly why I love it so much. And when we're working in our journal, I think we often are just craving something that's very simple. Like, how much time do we really have for making a journal pretty? Okay, so for me, it's not a lot. With a 2-year-old around is not a lot. So what I want to do, because I'm using pattern as my main theme, is I want to create something that's very symmetrical. So I'm going to mark my center and I'm going to put an oval. Now I don't want to make that too big because I want to have room to draw around it. So there's my oval, about like that. And then I want to maybe do some flowers in the corners. So I could just mark some little circles where I will put the large flowers, and then maybe a smaller flower on the inside of that one. We'll just put kind of like a rounded triangle to show that. Everything's going to be in real time today. So if this takes me 20 minutes, you know, hopefully it'll take you only 20 minutes or half an hour. Why did I put my eraser over there? Who knows? Okay, I'm not going to do a whole lot in pencil. I'm going to get right into it. And I think the magic of this spread is that I'm going to use 2 colors of blue. It sounds fantastic already. No, it sounds simple, and that's what makes it great. So let's just make this as light as possible because I don't want a whole lot of pencil showing through my final design. Here's what you're going to need: a light blue marker and a dark blue marker. I can't decide which dark blue I like better. It's a huge decision. Obviously, I'll have to pick. This is a Tombow. This is a Copic. Copic is alcohol-based. Now, I do like an alcohol-based marker for laying down a large area like this initial layer, like I'm going to color in the entire oval. And an alcohol-based marker is nice for that because you won't get as many streaks. But frankly, like if all you have is Tombows or something, it's going to look great. So just choose a light blue. The lighter, the better, I say. And what we're going to do is we're going to make some very basic shapes with the light blue marker. And then we're going to come in with our dark blue and we're going to amp everything up and make everything like super duper pretty and gorgeous. I'm kind of rushing this, but you probably could get, less streaks if you were a little more careful with that. But as that dries, those streaks will also even out a little bit as well. So there is my initial blue oval. And don't worry about that being perfect either. Like that does not need to be a perfect oval. And then over here, we can see those sort of faint circles that I had drawn, one in each corner. And we're just going to fill them in with that light blue. And you can see the nice symmetry already emerging. Now I'm not doing a circle here. What I'm doing is more of a like lumpy circle because of course these will be flowers. What else is new? I'm going to do a floral pattern. Surprise! Okay, there we go. Put one up here. This is gonna look so pretty. I love when you can do something surprising with a medium. And so with marker, I think there's sort of a certain look that you expect from markers, especially in a journal. Doing a simple exercise like this, just with the two colors, it's actually going to look so painterly and beautiful when we're done. Not that regular, marker illustrations don't look beautiful, just this is going to look, I think, kind of surprising, which is cool. So now that we have our 4 flowers in place, you are bugging me. And you can kind of step back and like check on your symmetry. If one is a little bit small, you'll be able to see it. You can always look at that in a mirror as well, and you're just looking for anything that looks a little off. Looking at your art in a mirror is a great way to trick your brain into seeing it with fresh eyes, because when you're working on something, you're really close to it and everything looks perfect or doesn't. But then you come back, 2 days later and you're like, oh, there's like kind of a wonkiness to that why didn't I notice that before? And you didn't notice it because you were too close to it. 2 days later, you've got fresh eyes. Well, a way to trick yourself into having those fresh eyes, fresh perspective is probably a better way to say it, is to simply look at it in a mirror or just flip it upside down. Okay, so there, let's do our little semicircle flower. That looks good. I might even kind of put it right up against the other blue flower. Everything's kind of touching, which I think looks good. Then I'm going to do a couple leaves coming down here. They don't all have to be the exact same, it's just as long as you're kind of trying for a bit of symmetry, it's going to look great. Don't forget, this is just your journal. It's not like we're making a finished commission piece or something. So there we go. That's looking good. That's given us a nice symmetry. Maybe one leaf up here, in behind that other little flower. There you go. There you go. You get a leaf and you get a leaf. And what else? What else? Guys, I'm making this up as I go along. I don't do a lot of prep for my videos. That's not something I have mentioned on the channel a whole lot, but I like to just sit down and get right into it. I just find for me, that's like a more natural approach. Whereas if I do it, then I'm always looking at the version that I created off camera and I'm like, oh, this one's not as good or it's not going the same. So I really just like to dive in and share with you my process. So that's looking good so far. I mean, we can always add to the light blue. So why don't we make the huge decision of which dark blue I should use? One is a little more vibrant and then one is like a little bit more dull and more greeny. So just to stick with my usual supplies, since one is a koi and I don't usually use them, let's stick with the tombos. This is a bit of a brighter, more dark cobalt ultramarine, which I think is quite pretty. And so I'm going to start by, what am I going to start with? Why don't we do something really simple, like just doing an outline to our oval. We'll just go around. Of course, if you miss it somehow, like you mess it up, There is no messing it up, but you can always take that light blue out a little further if you need to. Doesn't have to be a perfectly, the width of the line doesn't all have to be the same. Okay, and then here's a nice idea. Once you've outlined that, do a secondary border. So go out a little bit further and do another line. And then we can change that other line. And by change it, I mean we can make it into like little circles or scallops or something. It's getting a bit shaky down here at the bottom. I like to rest my hand on something, and when I don't have that item to rest it on, that's when I struggle. So then what I want to do is just put those little semicircles. And see, by just doing a double line, we've given this so much more detail, and it's actually something really simple. That's what I'm always going for in my journal, is like simplicity, simple tricks, simple ideas that will add up to something that looks really detailed and really lovely. Okay. I haven't really been journaling a lot in the last week because last week we actually went to Calgary to visit family. Chris's whole family lives out there, and we have a nephew who's 1, so we wanted to see him, and Sully got to play with him and hang out, and he actually started walking while we were there, which was really nice. So it was a good week. And of course I took a bunch of art supplies. Like, you always have the best intentions, you know, and then when I was there, I was like, why did I bring all this stuff? I find it very hard to make art on vacation, but I always want to. So that I think looks really cute and pretty. And now what I want to do is just add some beautiful details to these guys. So to do that, we have to figure out our design. Why don't we do some little teardrop shapes in the center? I think that looks good. Now you can do this however you want. You can come over to this one and do some little teardrop shapes and little dots. Or you can just finish one at a time. And I think that's what I'm actually more comfortable doing. So I want to do some little like petal shapes. So these are just little curving lines that are a little bit broken and a little bit wobbly and wonky. I think that looks good. Let's come down here and do this guy. You're going for very loose, very simple. It's just your journal after all. Don't let it, you know, become bigger than it is. I think that looks quite pretty. Stamen at the center is almost just like some scribbles and those teardrop shapes and then some little dots. Love that. There we go. I think they definitely got a bit better as I went along. That's okay. So now, why don't we add some detail to these leaves? And I think what I would like to do is put a line down the center and then some little lines on the outer edge, like so. Let's do that one again so you can see. Line down the center, and then all these little lines around the outside that kind of give it like a toothy edge. And they give it a more interesting shape as well, I would say. There we go. I'm liking the way that's looking. Okay, let's do this one over here. Guess we should do these the same because they kind of look like they're part of that same group. And then I definitely want to add some leaves that look a little different. I'm having trouble doing them when they're upside down, so let's just flip the book, and that will make it much more easy for me. Thank you very much. And don't worry if you kind of don't follow the light blue. I think it looks really pretty when you go off of the initial color. Kind of get a little loose with it. Okay, there we go. So I think that's looking really good so far, and you can see how this design is coming together, and it's starting to look like, I mean, if I do say so, I think quite fancy and impressive, and we really haven't done a whole lot. We've just drawn an oval and some blobs, and then we're adding a little bit of sketchy detail. So now let's give this guy some detail. So we've got kind of an angled semicircle flower here. What I want to do is, that's a good question, Shayda. What do I want to do? I think for this one, I'll just do some little lines coming out from center there, or a low center. And then that might be all, because I want to add a lot more of this dark blue, but I definitely want there to be some areas of the design that are just the light blue, so that we have a nice contrast, and that's going to make for an overall really gorgeous design. So with that said, why don't we begin that process, and we'll start by placing a nice dark blue leaf or two right in there in that kind of nook where those two flowers meet. Again, they don't all have to be the same. So for this one, it's close to the oval, so it'd be right in here. I feel like I don't have quite as much space up here, but I'm gonna make it work. What did I just do? I think that's fine. Doesn't have to be perfect, right, guys? Okay, right, Shayda. Now let's see, what else can we do here? I would love to just add like some very loose, I love these tombos because the brush just reminds me so much of painting. Like you can just pull, you use the tip of the brush to do these tiny thin little lines. Ooh, it's so delicate. And then you just add that bit of pressure, and you can do one or two flicks of the brush, and you get these really beautiful natural leaf shapes, just like we would do when we're painting with watercolor. So I really love that. And the Copics with the brush head are really good for that as well. So let's bring this up a little bit. And now for this one, you definitely don't want to try to make them all the exact same. It will just drive you nuts. Basically, you're just going to say, I'm going to draw a bunch of leaves, and they're going to fill in such and such an area. Otherwise, I think it just gets a little like, I'm not trying to do any math today. That's all I'm saying. There we go. And let's do the same thing over here. I feel like we need another big one actually right in here, kind of filling in that corner, like, ooh, there we go. Not too shabby. And then that would mean putting one right here. And right here. There we go. And then let's get this all filled in so beautifully. And of course, this sort of cover page means that likely for most of March, I'll just use these two colors of blue for like my weekly setups and my calendar. That just keeps everything really simple. And as I've mentioned many times, I just love working with blue and white. It always looks good. It always looks classic. If you were following along earlier well, not this year, last spring, I did a mural, my first ever mural here in my hometown of Stratford, Ontario. So if you come to Stratford this summer for the theatre, you can see a Shayda Campbell original mural. And I knew it would be going out of my comfort zone for sure. So because of that, I decided to do blue and white, because blue and white is a place that I feel very confident. I'm just kind of joining them together, but leaving like a bit of space there. And I think that's looking good. Yeah. Do we need a bit, maybe one leaf right there. Yeah, okay. So now what should we do? Let's see, let's maybe just do some, I love the idea of doing some little berries here. 3 little berries popping out. Berries are a great way to fill space because you can make them as plentiful as you like. If you need 6 berries, you could put 6. If you need 3, do 3. There we go. And then those ones could be a bit bigger. I like that a lot. And then I think we just maybe need like a little something here. I'm gonna do like a little 5-petal flower that kind of looks cute like that. Same thing up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Right in the center. That's helping with the symmetry. I think I'll do a few more of the small leaves anywhere I've got like a little bit of extra space. Just to help fill in. And what do we think? Maybe one more down here to fill in and kind of give a nice point to the corners. And one more. Yeah, that fills everything in really nicely. And then obviously we need something else in the center to really make this pop. So working in pencil, start with your guide. We're going to do 2 flowers, a stem and branches with leaves, kind of framing the flowers in a really lovely way, but we're just keeping it simple, nothing complicated here. So 2 circles, and then you've got 3 leaves, and some leaves kind of in behind there, and I think that looks really good. And of course, we'll just use the dark blue for this, and we'll make this part of the design really dark, and then we can write March right here at the base, I think. That would work. Kind of make it like a fancy print. That's cute, I think. Lettering, not my strong suit. However, this is going to be really sweet. Okay, so let's start with those leaves and the branches. There we have a nice like natural stem. If you want to, you can try to leave like a little bit of negative space in the center of your leaf. That just adds a really nice design element, very similar to what I would do if I was painting. Just leave a little bit of a line through the center. If you don't get it on one or on a couple, not a big deal. There we go. Yep, that one I sort of missed it, and that is okay. Now is a good time for me to pop in just while I'm doodling away to tell you that any patrons of the channel can get this cover page as a coloring page. So it means you can download it, print it, and then color it in yourself, whatever colors you like, and use it in your own journal. It's a good way to kind of keep your journal organized and you don't have to do like quite as much. It's only $3 a month to be a patron and support this channel, and you get weekly bonus content as well as an extra video every month. Check it out over at patreon.com/Shayda Campbell. I'm very excited for March because in March, I'm actually going on a business trip to Spain. I'm going to be filming a course for Domestika. If you know Domestika, it's a learning site for adults, and I'm really excited about it. I have to go to Spain to film it, and Sully and Chris are going, of course. We've really never been apart. So even though it'll be a work trip, it'll be a lot of fun to go to Europe together, Sully's first trip to Europe. And then we're gonna go to Portugal afterwards since we're already over there. So I'm really excited, and I'm planning to do a bunch of filming and film some tutorials while in Portugal. So if you are someone who enjoys like this casual style, we're gonna continue that, but on like while traveling. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. It'll be something different for me for sure. Because we've gone from a really polished video style to more casual, and then I think it's only gonna get more casual and real as I'm like working with whatever supplies can fit in my suitcase. Okay, so frankly, I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. I'm not 100% sure how I'm drawing these flowers. That's probably why I'm rambling. The key here is that we keep a little bit of like that negative space, just like we did with the leaves. Under the pencil. Okay, here we go. Let's draw in this guy. We're gonna do that kind of lumpy circle. The nice thing is the dark blue will cover my pencil marks, and then we'll do those sort of messy, like little circular lines that sort of show the petals. So let's just draw in the outline of the flower. Great, okay, I think that's looking good. Then we need to keep the negative space here and here, so you can kind of draw some lines close together, and that should help keep that light blue showing through. I think this is gonna work. The idea, of course, just being that I wanna do something that's simple here. I don't want things getting all complicated now, but I need to retain like a certain amount of detail. That looks pretty. And then at the center, what I'd like to do is like have a few little circles of that negative space. I mean, this would be nice if I had like a blue gel pen or something. But there we go. Honestly, that's not too bad for having to do kind of like think about where the negative space goes. If you know what I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than just being able to draw it on afterwards like you would with a gel pen. If you have a blue gel pen, I mean, get it out now. Now is the time. But I'm into that. Actually, I think if I had a white gel pen, it would like go a bit blue. Let's try that. Let's do this one first and then let's try that. So let's draw this guy in. Right there, there we go. Lumpy circle. Little line between them, kind of like a little connector of the stems. Maybe that comes down there. And then we're going to do our messy. Ooh, this isn't going as well as the other one. Okay, that's okay. No problem. I think I have the trick of the white gel pen up my sleeve, so we can still fix this one up a bit. There we go. Yeah, I lost a lot of the... Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Okay, I lost a lot of the detail, as you can see, but I think I can save it. And let's just put another their half leaf in there as well. Cute, I'm into it. Let's get rid of those pencil marks. And then, yeah, because I lost some of that negative space detail, let's see if we can save it with a white gel pen. Okay. Gel pen is probably going to turn a little bit blue, and I think that's going to be a good thing. Yeah, there I've got my little curving lines here and a few little circles at the center. Does it look as like clean as the, light blue showing through? I don't think so, but it definitely allows me to add more detail and have a more detailed finished product. So I like that. Like I can do these little lines now, and I think that helps. There we go. And you get a little line because I missed that there. Yeah, I mean, that's working for me. And then I made that a bit too big, so I'm gonna add some negative space back into there. And you'll never know, you'll never see it. And then we're just gonna write March really carefully with the bullet end of the marker. And I'm just doing like a cutesy little print. There we go. I love it. I love it. This was a really fun cover page to create. I hope you like. There, I'll put my two markers there. So I've got a light blue and a dark blue, and that's all that was required for this magical cover page. There. Lovely and fun. And if you want to see me create a weekly layout, that video will be coming out later this week. And we're going to do some more blue and white pattern and just keep it simple and fun. I also have an illustration, a floral illustration e-course, guys. If you are interested in something like that, that's on my website. So if you want to do further learning, check it out at shaydacampbellcourses.com. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon with a new tutorial.